Hello again, everybody. This is Jan Monahan for Wrapping with Jan. Today, I am wrapping up our Valentine's Day project, and this particular video, I'm taking one die, this die here, and I'm going to make 3 cards. Now, I have die cut some pink cardstock and some, I guess you'd call it a mauve cardstock and a gold cardstock, and I've got all these little hearts that are going to be featured in each project. So let's get started. Project number 1, I am starting with a 5x7 card base and a card front that's slightly smaller than 5x7. I've also chosen the pink cardstock die, and instead of using washi tape, which I'm very accustomed to, I'm going to use this ribbon. This ribbon coordinates very well. I know that there are lots of people with lots of different opinions about how you secure ribbon, but this is what I do. I'm going to speed this portion up, as I will in several spots throughout the video. But all I do is take my tape runner and put it down there. I have found out that using liquid glue with silk ribbon just does not work, does not look good. All right, let's turn this thing over, and all right, I need to center this. This die lends itself to very easily putting liquid adhesive on the back and not coming through to the front. I'm using Gina K Connect glue, and I'm putting it in the spots that it's not going to bleed. This die has kind of a sad story. I was at a excuse me, I was at a garage sale last summer, and there was a man there with his daughter, and he'd recently lost his wife, and he had all of her rubber stamping stuff, inks, dyes, and I really don't think he knew what he had. And he had these things marked like $1, $2, and I whispered in his ear. I said, you really need to get your prices up here to make some money. And he said, I just need to get rid of this. My grief is so bad, I just don't care. And I felt really bad for the guy, and I gave him more money than he asked for. But that's where I got it. And this die doesn't seem to have any identification, no manufacturer, no number, nothing. And I don't know how old it is, but I know that it still works. And it still cuts very well. So here we are. Since there are so many openings and little places that need time for the glue to dry, I'm going to make sure that it does and it doesn't puff up anywhere. I'm going to put something heavy on it, and in this case I'm just using my Misty. That was the closest thing. And I will come back to this when it dries. I think this is dry. I've given it about 30 minutes. It probably didn't need quite that much. But once again, I'm using the Connect glue, and I'm going to speed up the film here. And I'm just going around randomly, and I'm putting adhesive in some of the big openings and some of the small openings. And I've sped this part up because I think everybody knows how it's almost like putting a puzzle together. I didn't go crazy in filling up all these little openings with the hearts because my intention was to make several other cards and projects with all these hearts, but I wanted to conserve what I had for those projects. It turned out that I only had the energy enough for 3, but and they all turned out very well. All right, I put this on black cardstock, and I think I did this in the last video. Putting it on black cardstock will draw the eye to the color black before it does anything else. And once again, I just use my tape runner, and as you can see at the top of your screen there, the ribbon's coming off, but we'll take care of that in a little bit. I'm going to put this on at an angle. I don't want to cover up anything more than I have to. And we'll go ahead and finish this off by putting it on the card base. Since there is so much on the back of this card front that needs to be secured, I elected to use my 1/2-inch score tape because it just has properties that won't give up. When you stick it, it stays. And I wanted to make sure that the ribbon stayed where I put it and the card front stayed on the card base. As you can see, I'm having a little difficulty getting the score tape off. Sometimes it needs a little persuasion to stay put, especially if there's more than just cardstock to stay put. And as soon as we get all this off, we will put our card front on our card base and we'll finish off the card. I hope all of you remember the days when you were in kindergarten, first, second grade. You'd go to the grocery store or the drugstore and pick up a box of those really cheap Valentines. I always made my own, and I think that was rather odd for that era. And I'd get stickers and typing paper and just make my own, draw my own designs. But there we go. That's a great card. I like that. All right. Now we are on to project number 2, and this is going to be a gift bag. I've got a small gift bag, and of course I've got all my hearts left. Small gift bag and some black cardstock. I've got a gift tag. And last month in the January Hero Arts kit, we got this envelope die. It's a little envelope die, but it's really cute. So I'm going to be using some vellum, and thank goodness the die makes the creases for you. And I, believe it or not, as much as I use vellum, I struggled with this. I didn't know whether to put it one way or another way. And you'll see here, I didn't follow the score lines, and it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. But you know what? That's okay. While I was editing this, I didn't realize that I had bumped my camera. And in the lower part of your screen, you can see my lap, and I apologize for that. But I'd come too far to reshoot this portion of the tape, and my viewers will just have to deal with it. And again, I'm sorry I wasn't conscientious enough. As I started to put adhesive on this little envelope, I struggled with how I was going to put this on the front of the gift bag. Did I want the flap up, the flap down? Did I want it upside down, right side up? And I just kind of stuck it in the middle at an angle without a whole lot of a plan. And I must admit, it didn't turn out too badly. So I used the tape runner. And as I've said before, when you're using vellum and you're using dry adhesive, you're going to have to cover it up. And so I took the tape runner and I ran the tape all over the front to cover up all the stuff on the back of the envelope. Once again, I'm going to speed this up, and you'll see what I've done with all my little hearts here. They're going to be flying out of the envelope and onto the bag front. And I enjoyed this part. It was rather random and without a whole lot of thought, but I thought it turned out pretty well. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's some pounding in the background, and my husband and his buddies are still working on part of the house. And I told him, this is it. Just give me a year without dust and dirt and workmen in my house, and I'll be happy. So we're going to finish this off. I've put some adhesive on the card, and these hearts are exploding out of the envelope. And I've turned some of the gold cardstock over, and it was just a plain white backing, and so I get white hearts too. I'm using my Marvy jewel picker for this. Excuse me. And I have chubby fingers, so this helps quite a bit. While I'm waiting for that adhesive to dry, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the gift tag, and it's just a matter of putting little dots of glue and filling it in with the hearts. This is my second project, and I still have a ton of these hearts left. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of these hearts. I hate to just throw them out. All right. We're doing the Speedy Gonzales thing here and putting all the hearts on the gift tag. And hopefully by the time we're through with this, all the adhesive will be dry. Here we go. More finishing touches. As I looked at this, I thought this was a little plain, even though we have all the hearts going everywhere. So I went into my stash, and I have an old love die, and I've used that, cut this out of the same metallic cardstock that I used for my hearts, and I'm going to put this on, and that'll jazz it up a little bit. All right, we've got that done. Everything looks good, and I'm going to take some time to let this dry, and then we'll put it on the bag front. All right, off camera, I went ahead and I put some more score tape on the back so that we can adhere this to the bag. And yes, now you can see that I'm wearing my pajamas. Sorry about that, folks. I'm probably getting more information than you need here. Okay, let's get this on and finish this up. If you look closely at the top of that envelope, you can still see a little bit of adhesive showing through the vellum. And down the next shot, I covered it up with a gold heart. I didn't have any gold raffia or pink raffia. I don't know where my stock has gone, but I'm going to have to replenish it soon. But I'm once again using Bearwick raffia and tying on the gift tag, and voila, there you go. I have trouble getting these gift bags in the same shot, so I'm hoping at the end of this video that I can show you the whole thing and you can appreciate its creativity. All right, let's head on to the third and final project. What I've done here, I've got an infinity die of hearts, and as you can see right there in the middle, or not really in the middle, but at the top, there's a little bitty heart that I'll string something through here, probably some pink ribbon. Once again, I'm putting liquid adhesive on this, and this is kind of a tedious design. I'm not much of an artist. I started drawing stems of flowers, and it just didn't do it. I'm not much of a sketch artist or any kind of drawing. I do, however, have several flower dies that have very delicate stems on them, and I cut those out of several shades of green and glued these on. And I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. And not every person needs an I love you and be my Valentine, so I just went with the hello friend. As I finish up this project, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me for wrapping up Valentine's Day. And I know your time is important, and I want to thank you for spending it with me. Please subscribe to my channel and give me thumbs up. And this is Jan Monahan for Wrapping with Jan. And I want everybody to have a very happy Valentine's Day.